right. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Back again with another episode of It Factor. I'm Jeremy, your host, as you always know. And today we have a special guest, man. One of my buddies, one of my friends, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jaida. I'm a December 2019 graduate from Clark Atlanta University. My degree is in business administration with a concentration in marketing. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here, Jeremy.
Thank you, man. I'm happy to have you, man. It's early morning, but hey, thank you, man.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I started off with, man, so how was your experience at CAU in the business program?
Well, just a little background. I am a transfer student.
Mm-hmm.
So my first year, I went to Albany State University and I was studying the same business marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end, I just had to have like a reality check with myself and what I wanted to do, my plans after school. And I looked into other business programs, but I still wanted the HBCU experience.
Right.
So I wanted to, at the time, work in Atlanta due to how the industry I was interested in was booming in Atlanta. So I looked at Clark Atlanta and I went on one tour and it just made so much sense. But the biggest part of that was I got like a hands-on experience. I had a personal tour and I got to meet the dean, Edward Davis, love him to this day. I met Raphael Boyd, who ended up being my professor my third year. And just the family-oriented experience of my first impression of Clark, I was already sold on the business program. I already thought it was excellent. So that was first, right? Before I went through the program, that's how I felt about the program. Then when I got there, I had a great experience with with B School. I was very much so a proud B School student, and I just really, some of the values that I took away from it to this day is like professionalism. But you don't have to necessarily step outside of yourself to be professional. Right. That's what I feel CAU Business School taught me the most, which is why I believe I'm here today in a whole different city, in a whole different industry I never thought I'd be in. Like, I would not be here without CAU Business School. That's a fact.
All right, shout out to CAU Business School, hey. But no, that leads right to the next question, man. So how has the transition been from ATL, to Austin, So how has that been?
It's actually been pretty good. Austin is really on the come up when it comes to, us in particular, people that look like us, especially when it comes down to like all the different technology companies they have here. They have Google, Microsoft, Tesla is being built down here, Oracle, of course.
Booming.
Dell, Dell, and especially for AUC graduates, we've been migrating here for at least maybe the past couple of years, to my knowledge, because when I got here, the reason why the transition was so smooth was because they were already kind of established as far as like friend group, really being able to explore Austin and show anybody else that comes like the ropes. So when I got here, like they already knew what to do. They had been here for a year. They're settled into, their new life and to the company. So everybody that I hang out with, actually, we all work for the same company.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's real.
Yeah, or tech companies, period. So it's a really nice community here.
That's amazing, man. I like that. I'm glad you got that, man. You needed that. I think every person needs something like that. At least something small like that. Like, hey, I got to have some of my people that I know that I can connect with. So I'm happy you got having a good time down
there. I am.
Yeah. But nah, man. So what's your day-to-day job look like as a consultant?
Right. So I'm a business development consultant for customer experience, sales and service now. I started off just sales, but one thing that I had to um, recognize at the beginning, and as far as my day to day, is that this is a company being that is technology that changes every day.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always things that are being customized for trends. There's always products and different factors that you have to pay attention to. So yeah, so just keep that in mind, because my day to day it varies, but basically it's my job as an account manager of over 500 plus accounts,
Mm-hmm.
to prospect into them, understand the industry trends, and to basically reach out as either doing a wellness check on installations that they already have from us as a company, Oracle, or to basically be a little persuasive and see what issues that they may be tackling, whether it be the circumstances of the pandemic or things that they've been fighting for years, which just might be an outdated system.
Gotcha.
But specifically for me, I work in customer relationship management, so CRM solutions.
Okay, cool. And do you like the job so far?
I like the job. It got it's taking me a while. I'm still trying to find my rhythm with it, for sure, because I was, again, a marketing major.
Right.
Not there was no, I mean, there was room for maybe competition in my involvement that I had at CAU,
Mm-hmm.
but I only had one sales experience prior to getting this role, which was field sales. Field sales is a lot more, it's personal. You get to talk to someone face to face. This is cold calling.
Right.
There's no, literally, it's just your mouthpiece. How how to work it, and do you know what you're talking about?
Gotcha.
So I I can say that I am enjoying um, the person I'm becoming within the role, because at first I was a little, I was a little antsy because I didn't imagine myself in technology at all.
Yeah, we
So the
all
fact,
are. We all are. We in this together. Like we all are like that. Don't. And me being in I've been what? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I've been thinking about it now. I've been in the tech world for what, 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. Had been working while I was in school, doing different things. But the fact to be in corporate America every single day, even though I'm working from home now, it's like every day, like you say, it's something new. But it's kind of like I just learned to adapt with it, and also it's like, am I doing it right? Like, and I always found myself asking myself that, and I'm like, am I doing it right? Am I talking to the right people? Am I doing it? And you know what I did? I just say, you know what? I ain't even gonna worry about it, man. It's a job, and it's for me. I'm gonna be fine. Like, it's gonna work. Like, we gonna make this work the best we can. That's kind of how I go with it. So I will pass that knowledge to you, whenever you can get to
for
that point.
sure. No, for sure. And I think that's a constant common denominator between people in the technology industry,
Mm-hmm.
Black, white, Asian, whoever. It's always, and this job is specifically targeted personas that you're trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
So talking to the right people is the whole point. Like, you can have these conversations with whoever you want within the company, but if you're not reaching the person that could possibly be making more decisions or could have an actual opinion that would give you more information,
Ain't gonna do much for
oh,
you. Then you want to leave.
yeah.
So, man, I would say, what do you say prepared you for corporate America? Like, what did CAU do, or what life experiences did you have that kind of prepared you for it, just a little bit, or did it?
My number one, CAU definitely prepared me for corporate America.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out, okay? See, I would not be here without CAU, okay? I would not. So, and in a nutshell, my whole experience prepared me for CAU, because I just believe that the way CAU went about handling involvement, and the students that stepped up to the plate and handled leadership. I saw how certain people were just kind of born with it, but some people just needed a little push, and CAU was the place to push you if you allowed it to.
Right.
And I knew that when I got to college that I wanted my involvement to be more than it was when I was in high school, because I was always doing something. But it was kind of the little bugs that your parents put in your ear and also were paying for. So yeah, do a little.
You should do this right here. You
should do this. You should, you should get real adjusted to the community and involved and understanding more. But my parents did an amazing job with that because it only fed me just enough for me to want to go crazy in college a little bit. So CAU had so many options that were catered to your major, but also just maybe things that you never imagined you'd be interested in. Like,
you're right.
So I'm not even gonna go through my list of activities because
I done did it all too. So hey,
man,
it's the school, man. You gotta do something. Man. You can't just
But it was definitely, but the faculty and staff there, sometimes it might be because they see something within you, but they're there to push everyone, which is what I loved about CAU. Like, you could be the person that didn't really do much, but I mean, it would always be brought to your attention. So you can't never really say that you didn't really have the opportunity to understand what was going on because you didn't go to the organizational fair. Like, there were plenty of different outlets, whether casual conversation, like everybody was always so, I don't know, it just felt like an environment where you could push yourself.
Yeah, and everybody was involved, so you felt like you had to be involved. And like you can be involved in something that you wanted to do. You ain't had to do everything that everybody else was doing. That's what I liked about CAU. Well, it's like a family, man. No matter what you were doing, they're gonna support you. Like they're like, hey, I'm gonna be there. You know, a couple of your friends, you know, people you didn't even know was gonna show up, and your professors, that make your day every time they show up to something. I always say I love that about CAU.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't feel like I answered your question.
Oh, you fine.
So all of that experience, how my experiences prepared me for corporate America is because CAU had balance. So it was definitely about the academics, but it's no secret how much we pay, in tuition and to get every penny's worth. And so, yes, it was encouraged for you to be on top of your game when it comes to your academics, but also get involved. But the way that they did this for me was, it really started again from my tour, meeting Dr. Davis and Dr. Boyd. Ever since then, like, they kept up with me. And because they kept up with me and the influence that they had on the business school, it was like, oh, Dr. Davis, oh, Professor Boyd, like that's, we love them and stuff. But I could have that relationship with them and faculty members like them and still be held accountable to perform to my best ability. So that was the balance for me.
Like, hey, look, you ain't doing this right. Yeah, I like that too. I had professors like that as well, man, that just be like, look, man, you ain't doing enough of this. You need to do this. It's like, hey, you ain't got an internship yet. We got this. You need to go do it. Oh, it's in so-and-so. I don't care where it's located. Go do it. Or let's do this research. So I was thankful for that, man. I think and I hear, like, even me starting the show, I see a lot of people that I asked about internship experience. They're like, how they had to reach out to people and do this and move. And I was like, I'm glad I went to CAU. You didn't have to, you had to do something, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But not as much because a lot of professors, a lot of people want to look out for you first. And like you said, like organization fairs, like we had college fairs, all type of stuff that you think you would never have,
All the resources were literally just sitting right in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Had a whole career.
Like holding you accountable. So how when we were in the business school, we had to, especially for that first year that you were in, you had to sign in at the career fairs and at the org fairs to make sure that they know that you were there. That's pushing you.
I'll be there. Gotta be
You
that.
know what I'm saying? Like, now every year after that, that's your choice.
Yeah, right.
But from then on, I never missed a pair. Like,
I couldn't miss one, man. That was at one of my computer science classes or engineering class. I can't remember. But I remember my professor saying, if you don't show up to this, man, I ain't gonna look out for you in your grade. You can't do this. And I was like, all right. Because they want you to have a job. Like, what you going to school for? Are you gonna get a degree and not have a job?
mm-hmm.
So man, leading on, man. So what's your it factor, man? Why you do what you do?
My it factor, I'm the type of person, I'm driven through hidden talents. So I'm always curious to see what else I could do. So that's why I couldn't shy away from Oracle or what I considered the scary world of technology. Like I didn't know what else I could do, but like being at CAU, I learned something new every semester. Like, so it was like, if I can continue to do this, when I leave this place, what else is God going to put in front of me?
Right.
So again, my frustrations while I'm here in Austin or even on the job don't last that long, because I'm a person that's driven, like I said, through hidden talents. Like, what else can I do? Because if I can do this, I'm only 23. So what else am I supposed to do? You know? So yeah, I feel like that's my it factor. It has this different way of showing itself. And I have some sort of, from what I've heard, I can be reserved. So I guess a lot with me is kind of unexpected.
Got you.
Like when I talk to people back from like school, of course people have heard of Oracle, and maybe know that it's within technology, but some people might not like have thought that's what I was going to do. And neither did I, but
right. Hey, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for the experience.
That's cool, man. I like that though. So you unique out here. You just say, "Hey, look, I got hidden talents. I don't know what's next. We gonna do it."
We all do though, but I'm saying I'm driven by that. Yeah.
I like that. I ain't heard that. I actually like that. That's a good thing. That's a great. She's gonna be out here a whole millionaire at 25. But yeah.
I'm saying, like, who knows?
That I need that. Just give me like $20, when you do.
Okay.
Just $20. So man, like, whose shoulders do you stand on, man? Who helped you to get where you
are? I'm a believer. So God.
Got you. I love that answer.
I have a couple of acknowledgements, but I have to acknowledge him first. Since I've been here, I've just been casually acknowledging him in the room. Because again, if I'm going to be someone who's driven by hidden talents, who do you think is giving them to me? Like, right. So him first, for sure. I couldn't even put that in words, but hopefully that resonates.
That's real good. I'm with you on that. Hey, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for
I tell you what, there's so many things that when it comes to this job, how I got here, things that happened at CAU, like I can't explain it, but I've felt him. I felt his presence every way. So God, my parents. My parents had the HBCU experience as well. They met at Prairie View A&M in Houston. So I'm a big PV fan, just to shout out PV. But they both have very, very good positions in corporate America. And they've had those positions for a while, and I've seen them climb the chain in their companies and just working, so hard as a Black person in corporate America, and always kind of stressing, whether or not I went to corporate America or somewhere else, stressing just the fact that regardless, me being a Black woman,
Mm-hmm.
I got to go above and beyond.
Got to.
Right. Now, how I choose to do that, as parents, they want the best for you. And based off of their experiences, no matter how far, that away that was, they've lived that part already. They've been 23 already. They've been 19. Like, so as far as like ordering my steps, sometimes I think even though I'm a believer, we're all believers, me, my parents, my family, sometimes, the reality of what goes on earth through the flesh, everybody's not a believer though.
You're right.
So with them knowing that you have to share the same space as people who don't believe in the same thing as you, they're just trying to do their best to make sure that they're doing their part as far as giving you the reality check before it hits you harder than it should. So I think my parents definitely maneuvered that way. But because of that, like, I definitely stand on their shoulders because, I mean, now all three of us are in corporate America, and I could not have done that without them and their guidance.
Gotcha.
And love and tough love.
Yeah, we all need tough love, man. It's gonna teach you a lot in life. We also need the distance thing. I get into that in the future, but the distance thing will teach you a lot about life. Just trust it. It'll teach you so much about life. It'll change your perspective on a lot of things and a lot of people. So that's the biggest blessing.
We're gonna get
but I would say
lastly. Shoulders I stand on is both of my institutions.
Gotcha.
Just as a whole. I don't think I could have gotten to CAU without Albany State.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I could have gotten here without CAU.
Gotcha.
So my institutions, for the reasons that we've already been discussing, just the balance, you can get your HBCU experience, but we mean business, and you need to understand as a Black woman, a Black man, that when you leave this place, you'll be prepared. Mm-hmm. If you allow us to prepare you. You know what I'm saying? Because it really was all a choice. Everything was a choice. It was a choice to stay. Mm-hmm. There were many different factors that could have maneuvered you from not staying. Whether it be financial, you just weren't feeling it, feeling outcasted, not seeing the hype, but if you allowed yourself to like really just bask in everything that Clark had to offer and Albany State, there's no reason why you shouldn't be prepared. Mm-mm. So I stand on the shoulders of my institutions.
Gotcha. I love them answers, man. That's amazing. So I would say, what are some of your future goals? Like, what plans you got for the future?
Well, again, I'm a marketing major, so I'm actually looking to I'm learning more about how marketing works within Oracle. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, especially surrounding Black people and their place. So that's one thing you have to recognize too. In corporate America, sometimes it's this underlying, it's this underlying understanding that you should.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Because
how do you feel? And that's the same as the question. We can talk about your goals, but how do you feel as a Black woman? In the business world. Like, how do you feel and what needs to change? Not even just to keep you there. We young, we world changers. So, so what needs to be changed?
Specifically, to my organization or to just corporate America in general?
Corporate America in general.
Okay. When it comes down, okay, so the best thing about my day-to-day is I get to connect with these people on different touches. So it's not just cold calling. I also have the ability to see who these people are through LinkedIn. So I get to like see you. You know what I'm saying?
You know who you are. Yeah. I got
So
you.
prospecting into accounts and looking for targeted people, sometimes those people do look like me, but very rarely. And I think that is, and the type of people that I target are like C-suite, executives for these Fortune 500 companies. So it's always really refreshing to see that, but there needs to be more. And especially when it comes to Black women, because the majority of the time they are Black men. But again, dime a dozen, like not really.
And even that many. I thought it was a lot. It's not that many Black people in. No, especially not at my. Oh God, my job. Oh man, it's not. Nah, I can count on my hands how many I see when I was in the office, and it's kind of deterring sometimes. It's like, I know I don't want to be here, but dang, I really don't want to be here. You know, people that look like me. I'm gonna get my job done. Don't get me wrong. Like, it ain't never deterred my job, but it's just like one of them. I came from Clark. Like, what my people? What's going on? You know, like, and what can I do to, make that change? And then when you try to say something or try to bring on people, it don't go your way. It's like, what? Like, so high? But you say you want diversity, though. I feel like a lot of companies say they want diversity because they want to save face for, like, when they're in the media or what's going on in the world or Black Lives Matter or this, that. They get that and say, oh, we're going to do this one thing. And then when it's time to be serious about it, they're like, oh, we already did that. We already so. It's like, huh? How was that? Or like somebody to be a boss. Like, I haven't seen a Black boss, bro, since I've been at my job. Like, I haven't. And it's like, bro, like, who do I supposed to connect with? Not saying I can connect with people, but it's nothing like your people. It's like, they don't never understand that. And you can't get in a rant with them because you're like, it's corporate America. What do I say? How do I say it? People just say, hey, man, stay in your lane, do your thing. Like, you're going to be fine. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's a lot of.
I think this, as unfortunate as the circumstances are, not just being a pandemic, but also just how history is being remade, and how we're being taught, or you know what, not even remade, how it's just a little bit more present, the amount of oppression that others like to put on our people in particular. This is a time that we should actually take advantage of, in which we have, because now they are looking at more statistics when it comes to the amount of Black people that you have at these big companies such as Oracle and Google and all this other stuff, right? And how they're being treated, and also what roles are you putting them in and why. You know what I'm saying? So something that we have actually talked about, just amongst like all of my friends, because all of my friends, we have the same role. Majority of us came from HBCUs, and they give you a diversity and inclusion presentation in the beginning of your training where they talk about the type of funding that the company would get if they do or don't abide by those rules within D&I. And it's just very interesting because why do we have to have that?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, the qualifications within a person to work within this position or should not be based on diversity and inclusion. But the fact that we have to have that program by itself should be enough to understand that y'all aren't doing something right.
Right.
So, because now you have a whole department that is specific to why you need diversity and not, you know, so there's something wrong there. And that department in particular at my organization, we would like to see more and actually do like a little bit more collaboration, because when everything went down with George Floyd, there was a lot more concern shown for the diversity in their employees. And so, of course, instead of targeting specifically us, which the percentage at Oracle isn't as high as we would like it to be, but I mean, it was nice. They sent mass emails about their concerns regarding the issues that were going on and how it was like just clockwork happening.
Same
We
thing.
started hearing more things, and especially people's cases that haven't been revisited, or people that haven't gotten talked about, say their name, Black Lives Matter, like all of that happening. It was like, you cannot ignore this. But why does it have to come down to this? To us losing people, for you to the majority of the hashtags, you know, being you just seeing them a lot more often. Why does it have to come to that for you to speak up and say anything?
And notice that something's like wrong, like, oh, this is wrong, and we got to talk to you, you know, and even reaching out to you. Like, it's so many people that reached out to me after that, and I'm so sorry, I thought about you, and da da da. And I was just sitting there like, I'm from South Georgia. I have been dealing with this since I was a little boy. Nothing's new to me under the sun that's happening. I just happen to work here. I got so many questions about what can we do, da da da. That last. The thing to get me is how long it lasted. That lasted for a week. After that,
Yeah.
nothing matters anymore. Then it happened in Atlanta, and I didn't hear anything. Nobody sent nothing, and it's like, bro, like, I don't expect anything, but it's the fact of like knowing, like you say, it's crazy. We got this. You got to have a diversity program at your job for me to get hired here, or you got to have somebody to come recruit me. That's the only way that I can get into the job, versus just normal way of getting the job. And it's so many hoops you have to jump through once you get the job. And then, like you say, that's kind of crazy. Why won't they pitch you into multiple roles? Why are you all just in one role? That's like not. I don't see that as growth. That's not a change. Like, so something has to be done about that, man. I think you guys are the ones to do that. But it baffles me just how the world is set up. It really baffles me, man. It just bothers me.
It wouldn't be that big of a deal if this entry level position, you see growth throughout the organization. Like I said, I don't really see leadership that looks like me.
Right.
Not that there's been no promotions, period. I'm not even gonna go there because that's not true. But there would be a lot more room for that to happen, and a lot more candidacy that would show diversity if the recruiting process was not so. I don't, you know what, I don't even know how to describe it, but all I know is that the percentage of Black people that work at Oracle is it could improve.
Yeah, it needs to improve, man. That's everywhere though. That's everywhere. I promise you. So, man, like, moving on, you know. So, what are your future goals? You know, outside of Oracle, you know, in life.
Well, I do have a passion that I have been fulfilling throughout college, for natural hair in the beauty industry. That's the industry I thought I was going to end up in. And I don't exactly know where God is going to take me when it comes to that industry, but I know I belong there. So I know with the skills and everything that I'm learning right now, with just within sales, and technology, these are very versatile capabilities that I can use in a lot of places. And actually, it's encouraged that you look at it that way at Oracle, which is something that I like.
Mm-hmm.
That you can take things that you get from Oracle and go anywhere from this point. Just, almost the same way, if you go to an institution like Clark, that you should allow the experience to happen
Mm-hmm.
with your own boundaries. It's the same thing almost at Oracle, or at least that's how I've been treating it, because that's what I know based off of my experience at Clark. So I've I've I still freelance, and I still do hair even while I'm here, but the market here for Black stylists is actually really, really good, because when you think there's not that many of us here, there is there is, and we've seen it through again, my friends here were already established. They already figured out you know where to go, like where the hot spots were. And we've been meeting people along the way. So when you have these casual conversations with like-minded people who most likely went to an HBCU, or maybe Northern Austin is a lot more diverse. So people will literally travel to support you.
That's amazing, man.
That happens. Like, one of my friends, she is a protective stylist. She does braiding, and she lives 5 minutes from me.
Mm-hmm.
We live in South Austin. She has one day of booking a month, and she's booked every single month.
Wow.
So with that being said, like, people, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't see us, like, not if you gonna glance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be around, and you gotta be around for the ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, and understand that, look, like, the connections that you want, you can have them actually wherever you go, I believe, because people had a lot to say about Austin and how it may not be, the much like diverse like Atlanta or other places, but
You can
that
make it that way.
actually worked for your advantage.
Right.
So I have plans to definitely kick off, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my own salon. I don't know if I'm gonna start doing classes. Um, I know that I would like to receive my certification, but there's no one here that I could study under in Austin. I would have to go to Houston or maybe Dallas, but I'm still looking into how I can make this happen. But the outcome, as far as like big picture, my goal, like, I'm not sure what that looks like. I know it looks entrepreneurial, but I don't know. Well, okay, I can't say that. I do know that I want to own my own salon.
Yeah. You
But
will own your own salon.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. And I would like, I don't know. So I can't even go as far to tell you like, oh, I want a line of myself, like a line of products. I don't know what God has in store with this, but I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. So I'm trying to focus on that.
And that's amazing. That's amazing, man. It's amazing that that's your goal, and that's where you want to go, but you find what you're doing now until you get to that point. And even if that point changes, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. So I respect that. I can respect that, man. Because most people have, I'm gonna do this, and they be like, you sure? Okay. I'm not
And I
this kind of person.
have a new
I believe
interest
you.
in technology, like, so because of, so I wouldn't be opposed to seeing where this career like goes,
Mm-hmm.
where it takes me. Even I know that I'm gonna pursue natural hair for the rest of my life.
Right.
That hasn't stopped since I went to college. But I, again, I'm a person that's driven by hidden talents. Now I have a knowledge base in technology. So could I combine the two?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So, man, do you have any questions for me?
I feel like I do.
You good? Take your time. You good?
Oh, Jeremy, I want to ask you questions that you probably already answered.
Okay.
Well, you've said you've been in the technology industry for 4 years.
Off and on, because I was in school, but I did
Right.
internships and was able to get my experience through them, and now been at my full-time job for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Yep.
So you said you've only been in your recent role for a year and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you where do you see yourself going within your company?
Within my company,
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I see myself moving to either another role while I still pursue my MBA, because I got a couple more classes till I'm done with it. And I want to become an adjunct professor at Park Community College for a while before I take on a big time, being a full-time professor. I want to be a requirements analyst or a consultant type guy at my company. I love tech, but I kind of want to just move on the other side, like the business side of everything. So I want to do that before I move into my role of being a professor. So I've been trying to prepare for that for the longest. Hopefully I get that, but a lot of work has been piling up on us. We had different orgs, different things happening in our sector. So I just been focused on the work I have been doing, but I have been applying for different jobs in that field. Same in my role. I mean, at my company, but also outside the company. So just trying to figure out what's next for me. But I know that I want to be a professor, because every time that I say it or I do something towards it, it literally works, Jaida. Like, it's literally like God just guided the path. Like, hey, this is your path. This is what you're gonna do. That's even with the show. Like, I started showing people. Like, at first I was like, I don't know how long this is gonna go, but we gonna go roll with it, And the fact that more people have been coming, man, it's just like, wow, this is the right thing to do. Cool. I'm glad I could pick up this. Like you said, it's like you say, hidden talents. That is true. I didn't know I could talk like this. So I'm saying it's getting me prepared for, the classroom and also anything else that he has prepared for me, I'll be ready to do. But as far as the company, it's like I'm getting to the point where it's like, that ain't the end for me. Like, not saying that's the end. For most people, I got to work 30, 40 years, but us being the young people we are, I kind of know that I want to do my own thing. And doing my own thing, I wanted to build up this platform so that by the time I'm a professor, I can still pull in people like you or people that I had on before that, can come teach students or say, hey, I did this for years, but then I moved to do this, to kind of show them a different thing than what we saw in school. Even though it was great, I still want people to see different, because once you get into a job, people think that you have to stay there. So yeah, I would say just preparing for the next, move, and just thankful. I'm thankful for my job and the experiences I have, but yeah, just preparing for that.
So how do you balance and I know I'm not saying that it's like hasn't been done before, but personally, like you in particular, like how do you balance pursuing your MBA and having a full-time job?
Support, support, having family time, man. Believing in what you're doing and God, bro. Like, I really wouldn't be where I was without God, and knowing that's what's for me. Like, even with the schoolwork, I kind of make a whole schedule up. Like, I took a semester off, like a semester and a half off, just to get myself together because of Corona and stuff happened to Black community, my family, stuff like that. So you have to know when to, if that's something you want to do, you got to know when to do it and get it done, because it's a job. Like, my job, don't get me wrong, pay my bills, take care of stuff, but a job ain't gonna love me, man. So it's like, let me do something that I want to do and I love, so that I can get to what I want to be. So that's how I pursue it. So I kind of set small goals, like, let's do this week, let's do this week. And sometimes that stuff works, sometimes it don't. It's like I'm all over the place. But I get my solitude when I can reach out to my mom. Hey, you're doing the right thing. You're going to be fine. You know, you're the first to do this. You're the first to do this. You know, so I want to just keep being able to be that person to say, hey, you can do anything you want to do. You know, you just have to have good time management. It comes all back to Clark, man. Like, I took a lot of classes, was in a fraternity, did stuff on boards, and was like everywhere. But it taught me how to hone. I didn't know at the time. It was teaching me how to balance multiple things at one time. And not like scatterbrain yourself. A lot of people can't deal with it. But I'm thankful for CAU for that, because it taught me how to do multiple things at once. It's like, all right, cool. We're going to do this. We got multiple hats. But we going to get it done. And what's the reason behind why I'm doing this? That's my biggest thing. I'm always like, what's the reason why I'm doing this? Because if I really don't want to do something, I'll just like, all right, cool. I'll stop. Yeah. So yes.
Okay. Nice.
Takes time, Jaida. Takes time.
Yeah, I definitely asked you because it's definitely a couple of people, especially in my friend group, that are pursuing theirs as well. And I just think it's interesting just to hear everybody's perspective on like how they're balancing it out. Because again, like when I see them, like we're hanging out, we're chilling, or whatever, but it's definitely times where it's like, you know, hey, I can't always, you know, do what I want because I gotta, you know, get back to class. I get it. And I'm looking to do the same thing. So I'm just gathering perspectives. I mean, I know it's something that I got to do, but it's nice to hear.
I help you. That's what we're here for.
Right.
I help you. Your friends will help you, man. You know, like, if I can give you any advice, man, just keep doing what you're doing. It's going to pay off. You're going down the right path. So you're going to be fine. School for you, if you do school again, if that's for you, you're going to blow it out of the water, Jay. You know, it's nothing to be stressed about. I promise you. Now, you're going to stress a little bit about the classes.
Yeah.
But hey, we did that in undergrad, man. But look, you finished. So if you finish that, you can finish anything when it comes to academia. So
for sure.
So yeah, man. Thank you for the show today. You did great, man. Like, this changed my whole perspective here, you know? But no, thank you for the day, man. I ain't gonna hold you up. So do you have any people you want to shout out? Anything you want to shout out?
Shout out to my Austin family. Shout out, they know who they are. Shout out to my CAU family. Shout out to mom and dad. I love y'all. And my two brothers, Khalik and Makai, they're at Morehouse. They're the reason why I do a lot of things too.
Cool.
Love them. And I feel like I already shouted God out. I should have did him first, but shout out to God. Really wouldn't be anywhere without him. And my Albany State family.
Got you, man. I respect that, man. Another great episode of It Factor, man. You know, like, comment, subscribe. Isn't that right? So yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. Hope to talk to you soon, and have a great day.
You too, Jeremy.